Some roads in America are missing from Google Maps routing, not because they do not exist, because something is wrong with them. If you pick a destination that sits on the wrong side of one of these roads, you get a warning you have probably never seen. The warning reads, "This road has restricted usage or private roads." Or sometimes, the route simply goes around with no explanation. The roads Google Maps will not route you through are dangerous for a different reason than the ones it will. There is nobody out there to find you if something goes wrong. Here is what lies on the other side of those gaps. The road Google renamed. Until 2003, there was a highway in New Mexico called Route 666. It got that number the same way most highways did, as a mathematical branch of another route. Route 666 was the sixth spur of Route 66. Nothing supernatural about it, just a numbering system. But the number had a different meaning in the communities along it. The stretch through northern New Mexico ran through Navajo Nation and past the sacred rock formation called Shiprock. It had one of the highest fatality rates of any highway in the country. In the 1990s, it was officially listed as one of the 20 most dangerous roads in the United States. Between 1985 and 1992, 22 people were killed on it. In 2001, 15 people died. In 2002, 11 more died. The signs were stolen constantly, not vandalized. Stolen. Drivers and truckers and residents and tourists all wanted them. The theft was so persistent that replacement became a significant budget item. A state trooper recalled one drunk driving suspect who told the officer during his arrest that 666 is evil and everyone dies on that highway. The New Mexico Transportation Secretary pushed for a renaming. In 2003, it was approved. Route 666 became U.S. Route 491. The Transportation Secretary said at the ceremony that the devil is out of here and we say goodbye and good riddance. 6 people died on it in the 2 months after the renaming. Then the state did something the renaming alone had not accomplished. They fixed the road, wider lanes, better sight lines, grade separations at the most dangerous intersections. The road was not cursed. It was inadequate for the traffic volume it was carrying. The fatality rate dropped. It is now U.S. Route 491. You can find it on Google Maps. Type in an address along its path, and it will route you there without a warning. The devil is gone. The engineering stayed. The road Google won't route through. There is a section of road in Centralia, Pennsylvania, that does not appear in Google Maps routing results. You can see it on the satellite view. The road is there, running through where the town used to be. The asphalt is still mostly intact, though it bubbles in places, and cracks run across it in patterns that suggest something is wrong below the surface. A coal seam fire has been burning under Centralia since 1962. Carbon monoxide vents from fissures in the ground. In some sections, the road surface gets hot enough to melt tire rubber. The government closed the road in 1994 after the pavement began cracking and lifting from the heat below. Google Maps will take you to Centralia, but it will not route you down the closed section. The road exists. You can walk it. Thousands of people do every year. They come specifically to see the cracked asphalt, the painted graffiti left by decades of visitors, and the wisps of steam rising from the ground on cold mornings. If you open maps and ask for directions through that section, it routes you around. The road is marked as closed. The fire beneath it has been burning for 63 years, and it is projected to burn for another 250 years. That road is one of the most photographed in America. It is also one of the few places where the reason for closure is active geological combustion happening right now beneath your feet. The road with no cell service for 240 miles. The Dalton Highway in Alaska was never designed for the public. It was built in 1974 by the Alyeska Pipeline Service Company to supply the construction of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System. 414 miles of mostly gravel road from Livingood, north of Fairbanks, to Dead Horse, near the Arctic Ocean. built to get equipment in, not built to get tourists out safely. The state of Alaska opened it to public traffic in stages and fully in 1994. Car rental companies in Fairbanks charge premium rates for vehicles rated to drive it, and some prohibit it entirely in their standard contracts. Here is what Google Maps cannot tell you about the Dalton Highway. There is no cell phone coverage on most of it. There is no gas available between mile 56 and mile 175, and then none again between mile 188 and mile 414. That second gap is 226 miles without fuel, longer than most road trips most Americans take in their lifetime. It is also where the road climbs over the Brooks Range at Idagun Pass, the highest mountain pass on any public road in Alaska. Communication on the Dalton is handled by CB radio. That is not a romantic detail. It is the only option. If your vehicle breaks down between Wiseman and Dead Horse, you will wait until another driver stops because emergency services cannot reach you in any reasonable time frame. It holds around 40 fatal crashes per year on a road that almost no one drives. The trucks that service the Prudhoe Bay oil fields use it daily. They are enormous. They do not stop easily. Passenger vehicles driving 20 miles per hour below the speed limit to stay safe are a hazard to the trucks, and the trucks are a hazard to the passenger vehicles. Google Maps shows the Dalton Highway. It does not show you a gap of 240 miles in services. It does not show you that the nearest emergency services are in Coldfoot or Dead Horse, with nothing between. Type in a destination at Prudhoe Bay, and it will calculate your estimated arrival time as if this were a normal highway. It is not a normal highway. The road that is dangerous because of who uses it. This one is counterintuitive. Most of the roads on this list are dangerous because of physical conditions. Terrain, remoteness, infrastructure failures. This one is dangerous because of what the drivers who use it are doing. Interstate 4 in Florida runs 132 miles from Daytona Beach through Orlando to Tampa. It is not remote. It has exits every few miles and gas stations and services and cell coverage everywhere. It has the highest fatality rate per mile of any interstate highway in the United States. In some analyses, it is the single deadliest road in the country by that measurement. The reason is Orlando. Every year, roughly 74 million people visit the Orlando theme parks. Many of them rent cars at the airport. Many of them have never driven in Florida before. Many of them are using navigation apps while driving in unfamiliar conditions. They are distracted by passengers. They are running on vacation sleep schedules. They mix with local commuters doing 80 miles per hour in lanes they have memorized. Google Maps routes millions of people down Interstate 4 every year. It cannot warn you that the vehicle next to you has been awake since 4 a.m. to catch a flight and is now trying to read road signs in a rental car while their kids are arguing in the back seat. The road does not kill people. The particular combination of drivers on it does. The road with no guardrails at 11,000 feet. US Route 550 in Colorado is called the $1 Million Highway. Nobody agrees on why. One story says a woman drove it and said she would not do it again for $1 million. Another says the construction cost was $1 million per mile. Another says the gravel used in the original road surface contained that much gold ore. None of those explanations are what matters when you are on it. The section through Red Mountain Pass reaches 11,018 feet above sea level. It is a two-lane road carved into the side of a mountain. The drop on the outside edge goes straight down. There are no guardrails on significant portions of it. Not damaged guardrails, not inadequate guardrails, no guardrails at all. The Colorado Department of Transportation has considered adding them multiple times. The engineering challenge is that the mountain face the road is cut into does not provide adequate anchoring in many sections. The rock is not stable enough to hold the guardrail posts under crash conditions. So the road has no guardrails, If you go over the edge on certain sections of the million-dollar highway, nothing stops you. Google Maps will route you through it. It will not mention the altitude, the lack of guardrails, the hairpin turns with no visibility around them, or the fact that this road receives significant snowfall from September through June. It will tell you the estimated driving time. It will not tell you why some local residents will not drive it after dark. The road Google hasn't photographed. There are roads in the United States where Google Street View coverage simply ends. This happens for several reasons. Military restricted areas, private land where access was denied, seasonal roads the Street View cars never reached, and roads so remote that the cost of sending a camera car was not justified by the expected user demand. Highway 2 in Montana runs across the northern edge of the state close to the Canadian border. The posted speed limit in remote sections is 70 miles per hour. In practice, many drivers treat it as higher. The road is long and straight and empty enough that speed creep is nearly inevitable. When a crash happens here, the nearest hospital is often more than an hour away. Emergency response times are measured in the kind of intervals that determine survival outcomes. This is not a road that appears in danger statistics the way Interstate 95 does because the volume is low. Low volume with a high fatality rate per driver is a different kind of dangerous than high volume with a moderate fatality rate per driver. The statistics get diluted by denominator. Google Maps has Street View on parts of Highway 2. In the most remote stretches near the Canadian border, the blue line that indicates Street View coverage simply stops. You are looking at a satellite image of a road that a camera car has never been on. The road exists. The documentation of what it looks like does not. That gap in the blue line is not a technical error. It is an accurate representation of how well known this road is and how much infrastructure exists along it, which is to say, not very. So what is the distinction between the roads? Google Maps will route you through and the ones it will not. In most cases, it is not a judgment about danger. Google Maps will route you along Interstate 4 with no warning, despite that highway's fatality rate. It will route you up the million-dollar highway with no guardrail advisory. It calculates your arrival time on the Dalton Highway as if cell service and fuel were available along the way. The warning about restricted usage appears for legal and administrative reasons, not for safety reasons. A road is in the system or it is not. A road is legally closed or it is not. The most dangerous roads in America are almost all in the system. Google Maps knows they exist. It just does not know what you are getting into. That is what this video was for.